Hello, my beautiful thorns and roses, aka bloomers. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope you didn't choose violence. I hope you are alive and surviving and living. So we are now in 2023, which means we are no longer in 2022. But the question is, did you guys learn any lessons in 2022? What is happening to me? So today I want to share with you guys my top 2022 lessons learned from 2022 that I'm bringing with me into 2023. Make sure before we go any further, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on your post notifications so you're notified every time I post a video. Make sure you share this video, and let's get into my 22 lessons. One lesson, and please guys keep in mind that these lessons are not in any form of order, but my first lesson is to be thankful for every situation that has happened, whether it was good, bad, and just plain right ugly. Be thankful for the situation, be thankful that it happened, whatever, even if it was drama filled, be thankful, because at the end of the day, life does happen, and hey, we have to go through some mess to grow through the mess. And with that being said, that means you should have gained some knowledge and some wisdom to know what to do when the lesson returns and come back to you. Number 2, follow your gut. Now, God gave us this thing called a gut feeling, or what we like to call intuition. If you see that something is happening, whether you may have applied for a job and you're on the interview and you have a funny feeling and the first thought that comes to your head is, I don't think I should do this job, follow your gut feeling. If it comes to dating and you feel like, okay, I'm seeing something, but I'm not sure I still want to give it a try, follow your gut feeling. Listen, I can tell you last year I had several instances and several, things that happened to me, and I had the gut feeling and I completely ignored it. And what did God do? He politely gave me a nice big old revealing reminder why you should listen to your gut. This is, I think, one of my favorite lessons that I learned. Always follow your gut. Ladies, you have an intuition, use it. Men, I'm sure y'all have one too. Because sometimes that ain't just you. Sometimes that's the Holy Spirit. That's your assigned angel. That's God himself. Hey, this isn't for you. Move on to the next thing. Follow your gut, guys. Now, this one is a little random, but I've actually kind of learned the importance of farming. So sometime last year, my mom and I decided I can't remember what it was that we planted. I can't remember what it was. And it was kind of fun. I can't remember if my mom wasn't feeling good or if it was just simply me just saying, I want to try it out. But I planted some form of vegetable. I really can't remember what that vegetable was. But the point is, invest in farming. The way things are going right now, prices are going up. Vegetables aren't as cheap as they used to. Fruits aren't as cheap as they used to. Eggs are going up. Come on. Your trolley has 5 vegetable items, and your bill is almost $100. Where they do that at? So make sure one of the things you do this year is invest in farming. Create a little space in your yard, or even create a little pocket thing on the wall. Plant some tomatoes, maybe some thyme, anything of that sort. But get into farming. And the next lesson learned is never let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Now, this may be a cliche lesson, but trust and believe there are people who are watching you, who you may be close to or you're well associated with. You're letting them all know in all your business. And I mean not in your business like a content creator way, but in your business, because they want to know what your next move is. And once you let them know what your next move is, I guarantee you they're going to try and do it before you. So listen, there's so much I can say about it, but never let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Number 5, create a prayer wall. Now, sometime in the middle of last year, I did create a prayer wall. I got some little post-it notes, the little colorful sticky notes. I got a whole bunch of them, and I just started creating little prayers with Bible scriptures or mini prayers, affirmations, maybe a few that I wanted to manifest. And I anointed my door with the holy oil. And listen, the The more you read those, if you could just look at one every day, you just never know what the power of God does. So I would always say create a prayer wall. Now for me, mine isn't necessarily a prayer wall. Mine is actually a prayer door. So the back of my room door has Post-it notes. They're very colorful. I have green, purple, red, yellow, blue, I think a dark green. And I just have many prayers on it, maybe a little bit of some Bible scriptures, some affirmations, because I'm manifesting these things for this year. So I think it's something you guys should try. Try creating a prayer wall. It's important, and you never know what the result may be. Now, this one is a little bit sensitive, just depending on how well you do with it, but heal. This year, let's heal. Last year, I realized that I was actually in, I won't say bad situations, but I was put into predicaments where I realized that there was still some trauma, and I don't even want to say trauma because it wasn't that serious, but heal. You never know how hurt you are until you're put right back into the situation, or something is brought up and you realize that you're not healed. And that can come with childhood trauma, that can come with something that happened to you in your adulthood, that could be something that happened on a job. You just never know. We are in 2023. Right now we are trying to live. We're not even just trying to survive and be alive. We are trying to live and enjoy life. Like I said, life does not come with rule books, except the 10 Commandments, the Beatitudes, and a couple other things that I think are in the book of Matthew. I think there are some in Ecclesiastes as well. But the point is, heal. And if you're not fully healed, listen, it's not an overnight thing. It's not something that happens in 3 months. It's a continuous thing. Listen, I'm still trying to heal from a few things, like little things that I thought weren't a big deal. I'm actually trying to heal from. So hey, if I can work on it, you can work on it too. So make sure you guys are taking care of yourselves and trying to heal. So another one that I want to talk about is learning to walk away without an apology. People will come and they will go out of your life. Some will have an explanation and some will not have an explanation. Learn to listen here, Mr. Mosquito, I really don't want to get bite tonight. But learn to just let people walk away, and there's nothing you need. You don't need to have an apology. What do you need to have an apology for? Just learn to be at peace with whatever it is. Pray, because it's obvious that they had to walk away for a reason. There's a reason why they didn't apologize. Forgive them, or forgive whatever it is. Pray and move on with life. Sometimes some things are just not worth your time and your energy. So learn to be okay with not getting that apology. Now, this one is one of my favorites. And if these mosquitoes don't leave me alone, I'm gonna cry. But, little commentary for y'all. But in this lesson, don't expect you out of someone else. This was a lesson that actually always reoccurs. And I think this is something that reoccurs for people all the time. We get so caught up in, and I'm speaking to myself too, we get so caught up in saying, if this was me, I wouldn't do this to you, or how is it that if I could think like this, why can't you? Listen, at the end of the day, everyone is different. Everyone thinks different. Some people think the same, but don't expect you out of someone else. Just because you're selfless doesn't mean that they're going to be selfless. Just because you decide that every other week you're going to treat them does not mean every other week they're going to treat you. Just because you don't curse people out doesn't mean that they won't curse you out. Listen, a lot of us out here, we may give a lot of grace. We may give a lot of mercy. But that doesn't mean that other people are just like you and going to give plenty grace. They give plenty mercy. They may mess up a few. In situations, things happen. You may have people who just will constantly mess up and you forgive, and then the one time you do something, it's the end of the world. Listen, don't have the expectation. Take the expectation out of your head. You don't have the expectation, I promise you, you won't be as disappointed when foolishness hit the fan. So, don't expect you out of somebody else. Oh, this is another one that I like. Set boundaries and don't let anyone cross your boundaries. I didn't realize how many boundaries I actually had subconsciously until they were getting crossed. I can give stories upon stories upon stories, but listen, set your boundaries. And if you feel like your boundaries are being crossed, You have every right to be upset. Does that mean you must cuss and carry on? No. Set your boundaries. If you feel like you were disrespected, let them know. And if they get upset because you decide to tell them that, hey, you crossed in the line, that's too bad for them. Dog eat their lunch. Another one bites the dust. Listen, people are going to be upset because when you learn to stand your ground and you set boundaries, you are not just setting a standard, but you're actually showing yourself respect. You're showing people, listen, you're going to need to learn to respect me. So this is another lesson that I have definitely taken into consideration. I find now more since the beginning of this year, some of my boundaries have been crossed and I had no problem. And when I tell y'all, Azalea, mother of bloomers, thorns and roses. When I tell you I had no problem opening my mouth and saying, listen, and I answer you back, or I decide now I'm now going to, not necessarily choose violence, but let you know or hint to you that you are crossing a boundary. Yeah, that side of me, no. Set your boundaries, guys. It's very important. Learn where to draw the line so that people decide that they want to do something. Listen, dog eat their lunch if you decide, you know what, you're just not for me. This one is similar to one I said earlier, like how I said let people walk away without an apology. This is another one. If people decide that they want to walk, listen here, Mr. Mosquito, you're really bothering me today. You want to film my vlog. But I'm going to say this. If people decide that they do want to walk out of your life, sometimes there's no explanation, and sometimes you don't even need to ask why. Sometimes that's simply God protecting you from your hurt and the pain that you're going to experience later down the line. So hey, if they want to walk out, just let them. You're probably better off without them. Keep going and keep pressing forward. You never know who's watching, okay? When you feel like you've been working hard and you feel like you're not getting that accreditation that you deserve, sometimes there are people out there who are walking. I'll give a little example for me. Mine was I've now been blogging for 4 years. I'm actually going on 5 years in August. And one day I checked my emails and I had this brand that reached out to me that wanted me to be like a brand ambassador for their makeup line. Now, usually when I come on here, I don't have on makeup, but I promise y'all I can fix my face decent enough. But I is a real Bahamian. I'm a real person. I am not a makeup artist, but I do the best that I can. And sometimes my makeup comes out good. But the point is, as me and the owner were talking, they literally said, you know what, you put out good content. You're very real. I've been watching you. I've been reading your blogs. And once you came on YouTube, I saw your personality and I realized, like, listen, I want you to be a part of my brand. And guess what they said? I've been watching you now for about 6 months or so. Listen, keep going because you just never know who's watching. So don't worry about the little bit of influence you may have. Don't worry about if 1 or 2 people give you a compliment. You never know who's watching. So keep going, keep pressing forward. Work on those visions. Make those dreams come to life. You just never know what opportunities lie ahead. So keep moving forward. Keep God in the center. I think this one goes without an explanation, so I'll make it quick. Keep God in the center. Literally. Pray. Whatever it is, pray. You don't know how to do something, pray. You're going through something, pray. You need guidance, you need Him to ordain your steps, pray. You want a parking space close to the food store, dog, because you don't feel like walking all the way from the back of the parking lot all the way to the front, pray. He's a humorous God and He always finds a way. Keep God in the center of all things. Keep Him in the center. Now this is one that I think is very popular. This one is very popular, and your co-workers are your co-workers. They ain't your friends. To y'all who just coming in the corporate world, and for y'all who just coming out of high school and going into a job, remember, your co-workers are only your co-workers. When you clock in at 9, y'all associate. When you clock out at 5, keep it moving. Now, do not get me wrong. You will create some form of friendship. You may create some genuine friends on the job that you actually learn to trust, and y'all build a bond and realize, hey, let's try this outside of work. And you realize that you guys are genuine friends. But hey, I'm not against it. I have a few friends from past jobs that I've worked to, and I have very few friends at my current job. But for the most part, your co-workers are just your co-workers. Go to work, clock in, do the man job, clock out at 5, carry your hip home, and be social with your actual friends. Be careful. Word to the wise is sufficient. Wisdom, guys. Wisdom. The next one. Do not put all your eggs into one basket. I think me and my group of friends actually learned this one together. Like, do not put all your eggs in one basket. And as I had a friend in particular where she left a job, the first job that called her back. She went to that job, and then it was like right after that, everything else was like falling into place, like other stuff. And to not just with jobs, but explore your options. There's no need to just be fixated on one egg. Spread them out. See what's out there. See what's out there. And if y'all are wondering, yes, relationships too, do not put all your eggs in one basket, because sometimes when you think it was that person, you realize, oh no, maybe I should have done this a little longer, whatever the case may be. And I ain't gonna lie, I am human. I'm gonna put my business out there a little bit. I did it. I put my eggs in the one basket before, and then I realized, like, oh, this is why my mother would tell me, you know, don't put your eggs in one basket. Hey, listen, I learned, and thank you, God. Thank you to the Almighty. Thank you to El Shaddai that So, wisdom. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Be open-minded. Now, this is very broad, but I will keep it as simple as possible. When it comes to anything in life, whether it's a job opportunity, hearing someone else's opinion on something, or other person's views, try to be as open-minded as possible. Every day you learn something new. Yes, you may have your own beliefs and stuff, but you'll be amazed to learn the other stuff that is a part of this world and information that you can gain. So try not to be as closed-minded. Try to be as open-minded as possible, even when it comes to opportunities. Even if you feel like you're not fit to the job, be as open-minded as possible. You just never know. So that's a quick one in a nutshell, because I really don't want to ramble. It's a broad one, but hey, if you want to elaborate in the comments, go right ahead. And if you made it this far in this video, I want to say thank you for making it this far into the video. But yes, remember, be as open-minded as you can. Listen to me, y'all. One thing that I'm trying to get better at this year is giving my tithes and my offering. It is so important to give your tithes and offering to the church. I can't remember what the percentage is, but whatever you make, you're supposed to give a percentage back to the Lord. Listen, last year, it was so funny. Now, don't expect that you're going to get something every single time that you give your tithes and offering. But there was a particular day I went out with my girlfriend, and this guy, long story short, walked him to the car. And it was a Sunday. I didn't go to church, but I only had $1. Now, usually for me, when I go to church and I only have like $1 on me because I didn't go to the ATM, I'm like, what's the point of like giving this $1? Like, what is it going to do? Like, is God going to accept it? I used to have like things like that run through my mind. But anyway, long story short, he came to my car. Me and her are looking at him. She had a $10 bill and I had a $1 bill, and he was asking for it for whatever reason he was asking it for. And she gave her $10, and I looked at him and said, sir, I'm not going to lie to you. I only have this $1 on me, but you can have it, take it. And I'm not saying that this is me giving tithes and offerings to church, but this is just to show you. I gave him the $1, and that same week, so that was a Sunday, sometime through that week, I was actually like, and I literally want to say I was blessed with $100. Okay, like it was weird how it happened. I can't explain it, but because it came from a pure heart, I guess, and I was like, give your last. Sometimes it's good to give your last, even if it's your last. Give it to the church, give it to the tithes, because at the end of the day, like they say, God will always provide. But there's one thing I am working on this year is doing my best to give my tithes and my offering, and that is something I feel like everyone should do. I do have a co-worker who told me before she spends some money on anything, she always takes out her tithes and offering, and she says time and time after again, she will see blessing after blessing just because she making sure she gives you tithes and offering. Giving tithes and offering is so important. It's in the Bible. I can't tell you where, but when I find out, I will relate back to this video. But yes, excuse me, you're in my camera. Give your tithes and offering. So I'm going to combine these two together. One, invest in yourself, and have a side hustle. These two are very important. The way times are right now, you can't afford to just have an 8 to 5 or a 9 to 5 job and think that that's gonna help you to survive unless you really have a good job. And even people who make it and have a simple 9 to 5, they still have a hustle. Invest in yourself, invest in the company, invest in stocks, something, invest. And hustle, have a side hustle. If you have a skill, whether it's construction, plumbing, drawing for people, photography, modeling, something, invest in yourself. Do what you can to get that side hustle working. And for the side hustle, just know that you need it because, hey, there's lots of money to go around. For me, if y'all didn't know, I actually do a few things. One of them is photography. There are a few others that I do, but I don't announce them. It's just that if I'm asked, then I'm like, oh yeah, I can help you do that. But yes, make sure, invest in yourself and have a side hustle. It's very important, especially in this day and time. We are in the winter season. It's a time of solitude, a time of rest. Rest. Take time out for yourself to meditate, whether you're meditating by yourself, you're taking a vacation. But listen, when you meditate and take time for yourself, make sure you are resting. You are sleeping, you are getting what you need, and you are taking time out to talk to God. I started to suffer, I would like to say, and I believe that's exactly what it was. I was starting to suffer from burnt out and exhaustion. I'm talking, my body was vulnerable, my immune system was weak, it was breaking down. I don't want to say I don't get sick, but it's been a very long time since I've actually been sick. Like, the only time I think I've gotten sick recently was when I had COVID. I think that was COVID was about 2 years ago now. And then fairly recently, it was like I had the flu, but I didn't have the flu. But I realized that that's because I was tired. My body was shutting down, and my body was taking measures into their own hands and saying, hey, listen, you don't want to take this rest, I'm going to shut down for you. And that's exactly what my body started to do. So guys, this year, and this was from last year, if you guys remember, I had birthday blues. I actually think some of my birthday blues from last year was because I was just tired and I was exhausted. And I felt like I kept going. And my mom would always say to me, learn to stay home. Every Saturday you up and going out and da-da-da-da. I don't be going out like I partying, for the most part, because I really don't. Most of the time I just have errands or I have a couple things I need to do. But listen, learn to rest and take time for yourself. However that looks like to you, listen, if you didn't see my vacation vlog, I was quite rested. And I took some time to be with the Lord himself because I need it. Like I said, we're in the winter season, and that's what winter is about. Taking time for yourself to rest, hibernate, be in solitude, be with oneself, reset, refresh, refocus, prepare, strategize, organize, all that stuff. Make sure you're taking the time out this year to do it. Take heed to what I'm saying. If you haven't done it yet, please go and take that vacation. Sign the form, go take the vacation, go take the trip, go book a weekend stay at Airbnb, something. I actually learned from one of my friends. Be intentional and then be consistent. But be intentional. You know there are things that you want to do in life. Be intentional about it. You know that you want a better prayer life. Be intentional. Pray. Even if it's the Our Father prayer, until you learn to say your own prayers independently, do it. You know that you want to leave, you want to change jobs, be intentional and keep applying for other jobs. You know that one day you want your success, your business to be very successful. Make sure you're being intentional and keeping it on the back of your head and doing what you're supposed to do. And be consistent. Don't stop. Do not stop. I'm doing my best, and I'm going to speak for myself when I say this. I am doing my best to try and put out as much content as possible. I'm being very intentional about putting as much content as possible. I'm trying to stay consistent because, listen, I love content creation. I love digital creation. I love blogging and writing. I love vlogging. I love taking photos just to have something to go with content. I love the editing process of editing videos, even if I don't have the most fancy equipment. I love doing it. I am trying to be intentional about my Bible study this year and getting back into where I was spiritually, and I have fallen back. I am being very intentional. So guys, if you know it's something that you want, you know it's something that you want to work towards, be consistent, be intentional. No matter how hard it gets, no matter the trials and tribulations and difficulties that happen, be intentional and be consistent. It's going to be worth it. It's going to feel like you can do it with your eyes closed, but do it. You got this. And my final lesson that I've learned for 2022 that I am carrying into 2023, don't settle like dust. Don't settle. I think that goes without explanation. Do not settle. Do not settle. There's so many things in life that I think many of us settle for. Now, there's a difference if you have to settle just until you can do better, and there's the actual settling. Some of us, we get comfortable and we settle when we know we are more valued, we're worth more, you can offer more. Listen, do not settle. I'm just seeing how dark it is. Like, wow. And I really wasn't out here long, but this time change is trying to get back to the regular timing and changing. But listen, don't settle for anything in life. You're worth it. You know your worth. You have value. Someone in this world needs you. Someone needs to see what you have to bring to this earth, to this cruel world, because this world can be very cruel. Don't settle like dust. Don't settle for that 9 to 5. Don't settle for just doing that one piece of content creation because you think that's all you can do. Push yourself. Don't settle for that one friend who always backstabs you in the back. Don't settle for that one relationship where that guy is always abusing you or disrespecting you. Don't settle for that girl who is disrespecting you and you feel like can't create a safe space for you. Listen, and I'm being very real when I say this, and those who are tight-knitly close understand why. But hey, it's life. But don't settle. I've learned that I shouldn't settle. My mother always would tell me, don't settle. Mommy is, don't settle like dust. We ain't settling like dust, but you say don't settle. My mom always tells me, listen, you don't have to settle for this, You really don't. She always preaches that to me and my sister. Mommy, you was right. You shouldn't settle. You honestly shouldn't. You and my godmother was right. You shouldn't settle. And now I'm bringing it to you guys. Do not settle. Whatever you do. It was so much fun doing this video of my 22 lessons learned in 2022. Listen, lots of wisdom, lots of knowledge, lots of what's going to be what I learned in 2022 is going to be carried with me into 2023. And this is one thing I want you guys to remember if you made it to the end of this video. Not every lesson that you get and you have received, not all of them are actually meant to hurt you. A lot of them are not meant to hurt you. A lot of them are not meant to make you feel any type of way. Sometimes it's just as a soft reminder that, hey, you've been through this, you've dealt with this, you don't need to go through this again. And some lessons is because, hey, life just happens. We slip, we're humans, it happens. But guys, I don't want to ramble any longer. I think this video was long enough. I hope you have a great day, have a wonderful day, have a blessed week. Do not choose violence. I love you all. Like I said, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share this video, turn on your post notifications. I want you guys to tell me what are some lessons that you guys learned last year that you are carrying with you into this year of 2023. I hope you guys, again, have a great day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys, and keep blooming. Mwah.